Hi everyone, welcome. My name is Erin Elizabeth Warenberg and I am doing your full moon pick a card reading today. Today we have a full super pink moon in Scorpio. So full moons are a time for releasing, they're a time for cycles ending, they're a time for completion. So this pick a card reading, my intention is for you to just be able to reflect on some things that might resonate with you. And so you can journal or release or whatever you want to do to kind of tap into that energy. Super moon means it's just a little bit closer to the earth than normal, so it might seem a little bit bigger. And then we have a pink moon, and we're pink in celebration. We have a pink moon, which in the northern hemisphere, this is around the time when flowers are blooming and we're moving into spring a little bit. So this is, pink for that. So this pick a card reading, thank you so much. If this is your first time here, and welcome back if you've been here before, I really appreciate it. I love doing these pick a card readings, and if it resonates with you, you can sign up for my newsletter below, and I send out 4 reflective questions every new moon and full moon, along with a direct link to the tarot reading, so you can have that in your email inbox if that's something that resonates with you. And for today, it is pick a card general reading. So just take a minute. We have 3 groups for you today. I'll insert an overhead shot, and you can go ahead and just pick the group that resonates with you. Group 1, group 2, or group 3. Don't overthink it. Just kind of tap into your body, see which one feels right for you. You can choose based on the flower you can see, the word you can see, my voice, the number, anything. All the timestamps are below, and so once you've made your selection, you can go ahead and click that, and I will see you at the reading you chose. Hello everyone, welcome. This is for everyone who picked group number 1. So you picked the Wild Rose Clarity card, and number 1. So just a quick message, if this is your group, probably some part of you is asking for clarity around something. It could just be clarity. It could be you are asking for a sign outside of you, but probably more than likely there's some clarity within yourself. But a lot of times we can say we can't hear the guidance, but we just don't like it or we don't want to accept it. So just taking a minute to tap in and check and see, okay, is this something that I actually can hear what the truth is and what the clarity is, but I don't want to accept it. No judgment. We've all been there. There's normal levels of resistance when it's time to do something different. So if that is you, just a quick message to maybe you can ask to release with this full moon, the resistance to that. Because again, full moons are about releasing. They're about letting things go. So maybe some clarity and some choosing to see something as it actually is, than maybe the way we wish it was, or maybe some resistance we have to it. Again, no judgment. I've been there. We've all been there. But yeah. Okay, so I'm going to start with your tarot, and then at the end I'll clarify with your oracle cards for your reading. Okay, opening your reading, we have the 3 of Swords, then the Devil, then the Sun. Then we have 4 of Pentacles, 10 of Wands, King of Pentacles, and then 5 of Swords. Okay, so for the theme of your reading, the middle of your reading, we have the 4 of Pentacles. So I think with this clarity card and with this 4 of Pentacles is about closing off your heart chakra. It's about kind of, blocking your heart. So I think for you, you can reflect on what are some ways I have my heart closed off? What are some ways that I think it's not safe for me to have an open heart? Or what are some ways that I don't feel like I can be fully myself or express myself, or I need to hide myself? This card is also, it's not just about blocking your heart, but you can see this person is covering most of their torso also. So we'll get into both sides of the reading, but I think that's the first thing for you is just you want to reflect and journal on some ways that you can release some of that blocked energy. And sometimes we go into that after we have a situation that didn't serve us or didn't feel the best. We can kind of be like, okay, I have to protect myself, which is fine as we're like licking our wounds and recovering. But eventually, with the cycle, you don't want to stay there forever. And so if you are kind of telling yourself like, oh, I need to shut down or I need to block myself or whatever is going on for you, then this can be a sign for you to kind of release that a little bit. And it doesn't have to be immediate, it doesn't have to be all overnight, but just kind of letting go a little bit here and there. Okay, so opening your reading, I think this is a beautiful progression. We have Three of Swords, then the Devil, then the Sun. So this is, of course, about heartbreak. People see this card and it's like, oh my God. But this is because this is in the beginning of your reading. I feel like it's something you know about. So maybe something has been coming up recently where you had a heartbreak. It could be romantic, but it also could just be like a disappointment. It could be an unmet expectation. It could be, I thought things were going to go this certain way and then they didn't. Obviously, if you're watching this video now, the year we all have had globally because of COVID, there's a lot of disappointments, a lot of things going not the way we thought they would go. This is a timeless reading, so if you are watching it another time, maybe something else is resonating for you, but this can just be like, it's a card of disappointment. It's not even just like heartbreak, being stabbed in the heart, like a betrayal, but to me, it's just more like disappointment, because there's like, oh my God, it's right in my heart and it's raining and it's just like, sadness. And it could be with the devil next to it, could be like that you played yourself even. This isn't to judge you. This isn't victim blaming. This isn't any of that. But sometimes we do need to be accountable for the role we have in certain things. And sometimes the devil can tempt us. And the devil is about temptation. It's about like, okay, I know this person isn't good for me. And I know the cycle is going to be the exact same thing. It's been 8 million times, but I still engage in it, or it could be, I know this habit isn't serving me anymore and I've been sick of my own shit about it for however long, but I'm going to keep doing it, right? So I think this is about just getting clear of the ways, what is a self-sabotage cycle that you want to release with this full moon. And again, this isn't judgment. This isn't like, something's wrong with me, whatever, any of that. This is just being accountable for the ways that you had this cycle that served you, right? Even our habits that aren't like the best or healthiest, they serve a purpose. A lot of times self-sabotage is misdirected self-love because we are trying to protect ourselves. We think we're doing something to protect ourselves. So I think this is really just speaking about what are the ways that you can release some of the self-sabotage patterns that maybe you've noticed and you've been sick of your own shit, like I said, for a while. That's a good sign. Sometimes it can be annoying, but it's a good sign because it shows us that it's time for us to grow and change and we're ready to be done with it. Because look at this beautiful progression afterwards. We have the sun. So I think this is really saying when you let go of this pattern, whatever it is, it could be, you don't have boundaries at work. It could be you don't have boundaries in a particular relationship. It could be that you put everyone before yourself. It could be you're addicted to like gaming, or you're using food in an unhealthy way. I don't know. You will know how it resonates. Trust whatever comes up for you when you hear this to tell you what's going on. So just paying attention to the ways that you might be contributing to something within yourself that isn't serving you. And again, that's not blaming yourself. It's not judging yourself. It's just about radical personal responsibility, is owning up. Okay, yeah, I did this for a long time and it served me and it's fine. Like, I'm not going to judge myself, but I'm ready to do something different now. Because again, look, we have the sun after those two cards. So I think that's just saying, once you let go of that, you are going to feel free. You're going to feel like this newborn baby flying in the wind. It's really there's going to be a lot of freedom there. There's going to be a lot of lightness, lightheartedness, like some rebirth. You're going to have that beautiful sunshine energy, just kind of like, again, this happy inner child that gets to express itself and feel free and creative and all of that energy, and really not feeling like, just like trapped or like, disappointed or upset or something. So just really looking at the ways that, you are meant to thrive, and sometimes we go through hard times to get us to the next layer of our lives, but we're not supposed to stay there. So if you really are feeling like, oh my God, this happened and it feels so bad, and that's okay, you can let go of the cycle, but know that it is meant for you to thrive and just be very sun energy, very happy. All of that is meant for you. And so I think with this natural progression, when you let go and you take responsibility for yourself and you choose to not engage, it could just be even choosing not to engage with a person or a habit, or just like, keeping your mouth shut, right? Sometimes that's the way we can avoid some of these things. So ending that cycle is going to be really important for you. Is the message I'm getting. Is whatever is coming up for you of like, okay, I know this is not serving me and I need to stop. This is just confirmation to do that. And then again, center of your reading, we have the Four of Pentacles. So here again, I feel like even as you are, probably when we want to change habits, there probably some resistance is coming up, which again is normal, because even if we have a habit that we don't like, if we're familiar with it, if it's been our story for a long time, it is our comfort zone, just again because we know it. And so this is really saying to me, even if you do change a habit and you do want to do something different, you're still probably going to be like a little on guard. You're going to maybe want to protect yourself a little bit, which is fine. So I think that's just saying, don't push yourself faster than you have to, right? You can change your habit at the pace that's right for you. And actually, like, doing things, small consistent actions is way better for habit change than like one big thing overnight pushing you. So just go at the pace you're comfortable with. It's okay to want to protect your heart. And then just even going along with that, when we see this 10 of Wands here, this person is clearly trying to do too much, right? They're carrying 10 wands. It's just very stressed out. They're not in a comfortable walking position, so I think this is really saying you can protect your heart and you don't have to go at this crazy pace that, you don't need to go to. So I think this is really saying, just know that you can protect your heart in the way that's right for you, but don't try to do everything at once. So when you change this habit and when you are thinking about that, so it could just be, okay, I know I want to let go of this habit and I know I don't want to do this thing anymore. And if that's the case, then just knowing you can release these things at the pace and in the way that feels right for you. Because then you can see we move into, we have the King of Pentacles and the Five of Swords. So I think, again, once we do that, again, I love this transition from, this Four of Pentacles, like a little nervous, a little scared, to this King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles is a card about like taking radical responsibility for yourself and then your life flourishing because of that. So I think as long as you do this, as long as you take accountability for yourself, as long as you, just kind of really know the ways that you are showing up for yourself and the ways that you are willing to be accountable for yourself, that is going to serve you eventually. Even if, again, sometimes, we feel like I'm putting in all this work, I'm doing all this stuff, but everything is energy. So it always has to shift on the energetic level before it can shift like in physical reality. And so again, this King of Pentacles is just about like, taking responsibility for yourself, seeing changes in your life, seeing the ways that you have been able to be accountable and be different and all of that for yourself. This really beautiful King of Pentacles energy. And then what I'm getting with the Five of Swords next to that is make sure you have your boundaries. Okay, so it is, we want to find that nice sweet spot of like, you don't need to protect yourself for your whole life. You don't need to be fearful. You don't need to whatever, but you do just need to have common sense, right? You need to listen to your intuition. You do need to know, okay, this is for me. This isn't for me, right? Sometimes Five of Swords, people can read it as like getting played. It doesn't really feel like that energy to me, especially next to the King of Pentacles. It feels more like you can have this abundant, amazing space for yourself as long as you know what your boundaries are and as long as you know, like, this is what I will or will not stand for. And it's a nice progression, again, from the Three of Swords, and then the Four of Swords is like more of a reflective card. It's not in this spread, but, we have the Three of Swords and then going to the Five of Swords, which is about some growth. It is about being like, okay, this thing didn't serve me and this wasn't the right thing for me. So now I kind of know what my boundaries are. I know like who to walk away from. I know which things not to pick up, right? So very symbolic imagery here. So you can have a lot of this King of Pentacles energy for yourself. You can have a lot of this, this abundant energy for yourself if you are aware of what your boundaries are and if you are able to know, like, okay, I'm not going to play myself again because I know what my boundaries are and I know that I will not say yes to this thing if it doesn't serve me, or if I see this as a red flag, I know I'm not even going to go down that road. So I think with this beautiful King of Pentacles here, this is like having a full abundant life is for you. That's what we're here to do. And we're here to engage with our communities. We're here to give back. We're here to like be able to spread our gifts to the world. And it's okay if you don't feel like the King of Pentacles right now. You feel a little more, closed off and a little uncertain. That's totally fine. But just knowing that it is going to be important for you to, like, I think with this full moon, you can also ask to release some resistance to like becoming this. You can ask to release some fear around it. You can ask to release some judgment of the self, or maybe anything that's going on that might not feel, like it's from your highest good and your highest self. And then again, remembering your boundaries. So I think if you do some journaling, you can say, okay, I know that I want to release this fear story, this limiting belief, but amidst that, I will keep this, and this boundary for myself. Okay, let's look at your oracle card. So again, I just love that we had clarity for this group. Very beautiful. I think, again, is what I was talking about in the beginning of the reading, of just like getting clear on what's things that don't serve you, what are ways that you are, kind of doing something that's not serving you anymore, and you can release it. And again, that's not a judgment. Like, our habits serve us for the time that they serve us, but it's time to release it now. So just getting clear on the ways that you can release that for yourself. I think it's with that. Okay, and then let me look at this. Okay, I think, we'll start with this one. So growing beyond guilt is exactly what we were talking about. The other side says it couldn't have happened any other way. So growing beyond guilt. So this is in 3D reality, we have our ego, and we have a lot of judgments of ourselves, and we have a lot of judgments on the way we do things, or that, the lesson had to be this way, or, and we're not condoning anything of harming other people, of course not. But a lot of times, if you are able to look at things with radical responsibility, with radical awareness of the self, with taking accountability for yourself, you are able to be like, okay, I had to learn it. If it took 11 times for me to learn it, I clearly didn't learn it in 10, right? So this is saying it couldn't have happened any other way. So I think this is just saying, as you like making yourself feel guilty or shameful for some of this growth you've had to do, it's not serving anyone. Like, definitely not. Okay. So just kind of letting go of some of that guilt on you. If you've been to my channel before, I speak pretty openly about, I am an addict. And, I know I had to be in active addiction for as long as I was for me to learn my lesson about it. So it's not something that, it's like, oh, well, why did I have to be an addict? Why did I have to, it's like, okay, I can take that time in my life and now use it as, okay, what did I learn? What was the point of that? Why did I feel like that was my only option? How had I abandoned myself to think that I had to be like this, and this, right? So just saying it couldn't have happened any other way. I really love that. It's really beautiful. It's just a reminder that we all do have our own unique life here on Earth, our own unique blueprint for Earth School, our own unique curriculum. And so the things that have happened to you in your life were set up exactly for you to learn the lessons that you need to learn. So I think, again, when I said like release some things with this full moon, growing beyond guilt, you can ask God to help release some guilt or shame or judgment you have of yourself. You can try to extend some love and compassion for yourself. And I think just going along with that, I think we have these two beautiful cards. We have trust your path. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? And then speak truth. There's a little foil you can see. Okay, so these two I think go together, and I think they, again, really echo the sentiment I was just talking about. So trust your path. So again, the ego wants to be like, this is good, this is bad, this is that, this is that. And again, I'm not condoning. I'm a survivor of a lot of various things, and so I'm not condoning that they happened, but it is helpful to not dwell on what happened, right? You don't have to make it worse. You don't have to like keep adding this fuel to it. You don't have to keep making it be something that it wasn't. And again, I know easier said than done. We want to give it the process. We want to give it the space that you need to be able to move through it, but just really trusting your path, trusting these detours, trusting the reroutes will get you to where you want to go, right? As we have such a limited vision with our human mind, but God and the universe are always doing something to get us to where we need to go. And a lot of times, we think like, okay, this is going to be my path. It's going to be like this. I'm going to do this, no problem. But a lot of times it doesn't unfold that way. And again, I feel like with this, a lot of disappointment here in this reading, like what we were talking about, it can be hard to not want to trust that. It can be hard to be like, well, I thought it was going to be like this and now it's not. So what the hell's going on? And then with that speak truth, I feel like, a lot of times if something happens that we didn't imagine or that we didn't think was going to happen or that is very painful to us, we think, okay, well, God doesn't love me, or, I'm not supported, or this isn't going to turn out how I want, right? And there's a reason for the saying, like, thy will, not my will, right? Talking about God, God's will, not my will. But that doesn't mean that you can't speak your truth and ask for what you want. So I think this is beautiful because there's the two extra swords in this one, but we have the same imagery here. So I think this is really saying, make sure you don't try to spiritually bypass the pain that you went through. Like, really honor the process, what it was like for you, if it was painful, if it was not painful, I mean, whatever, all of that. But you don't have to downplay what you went through, and you don't have to shy away from like the fears you have, right? Like, toxic positivity, we're not about that here, okay? We're not about you being like, oh, I went through this and now I'm invincible and da da da. The truth is, if you've been hurt, it can take some time and some energy and some intentional energy to build yourself up and to want to feel whole and healed and ready again. And so that's okay. So I think this is saying, trust your path, but also you don't need to hide anything you went through, or you don't have to act like these things happened and they didn't harm you or hurt you. And okay, so we have Fox shadow work. This is exactly what I'm talking about. There are no shadows without light. So this is, again, just, I think this reading, group 1, you got a pretty deep message. So if you're going through it, I think this is a pretty deep message for you. But okay, so shadow work. So there are no shadows without light. This is exactly what I'm talking about. You cannot just spiritually bypass or pretend like these painful things didn't happen, or just be like, I'm going to choose to feel better about this now and go through it. Like, there is some layer of that there, but until you sit and hold everything that's inside of you, you won't be able to move forward. And I think that's part of, when we're looking at these two energies, the Four of Pentacles and the Ten of Wands, to get to the King of Pentacles, it is a process that can be painful. It doesn't feel the best all the time, but it is a process that is worth it. And then last two, we have true manifestations are powered by service and love. And then the Angel of Glory, I sing praise and glory to the source of all life. So I just feel like these two are just cute reminders, just little support from the universe here. True manifestations are powered by service and love. So, sometimes we think, oh, I want a new car, so I'll feel better about myself, or I want this thing, so I will, not have to feel this certain way about myself anymore. But the truth is, if you really are desiring it from a place of like, what is the bigger picture here? Who are you going to be able to serve? How are you going to show up for the world in a better way, right? That is the energy you want to tap into. So when you're talking about, releasing some of this fear, which is coming up here, releasing some of the limiting beliefs, right? You want to do it from a place of, that's not just about you, but it's about how is the whole world going to be helped and healed, and you can be a better service if that's possible. And then we'll just end with this beautiful card, the Angel of Glory. I sing praise and glory to the source of all life. So I think it's just saying you're not alone. God, spirit, source, the universe, whoever you refer to, is there. It's a abundant, never-ending resource for us to tap into, to connect to feel loved and cared for by. And so if you are feeling alone, with this full moon, you can even ask to just ask to feel like, can I just please have this feeling of aloneness, like, banish from my heart? And sometimes we have to go through really painful things to find our connection back to our creator. And again, that will serve us long term. And so just remembering we are always guided and supported, even if it doesn't feel like it. And that was that, this trust your path card that came out also. Right. Okay, that's everything I have for you. Happy full moon. I hope this serves you. If you ever want any more information about me, all of that is linked below. Enjoy your day, and thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it, and I hope to see you next time. Have a wonderful day. Hi everyone, welcome. This is for everyone who picked group number 2. So just a reminder, this is a timeless reading. So if you are watching this reading when it is not a full moon, there's probably a message in here for you if you felt called to watch this. So thank you so much for being here. You all picked the group that was courage. So some part of you, conscious or subconscious, is hoping to connect to a little courage right now, which is great. Love that, support that. So just remember that you do have everything you need inside of you, and you are universally guided and protected. And so you can tap into that courage, even if it's just a little tiny bit that you need today to do what you need to do. Even if it's just around acceptance, you can get there. So some beautiful courage energy for you. So like usual, I'm going to start with your tarot, and then I will clarify with your oracle cards at the end. So starting your reading, we have the 10 of Swords, 4 of Wands, 9 of Swords, Page of Wands, King of Cups, 7 of Cups, and King of Wands. Okay, this is really beautiful energy. We have a lot of mirroring energy going on here. So at the center of your reading, we have the Page of Wands. So I think with this full moon, this is the theme of your reading. We have some energy around a new beginning or a new adventure or something new. There's you've been going through it in one area of your life, and it is time you are ready to move into something new beyond that. So Page of Wands is really about exploring. It's about something new. It's about being ready to go on that adventure, being ready to move into the next phase of what you want to be doing or creating or whatever's going on for you. So I think with this full moon, again, it's not the new moon, but with this full moon, it is a closing of a cycle. So whatever you went through, it's going to be time for you to make sure with this full moon, you're really releasing it. You're really being like, okay, I'm done with this now. And I'm ready to move forward with that. I also just want to say there is some construction going on today. So if you can hear some background noises, I apologize, but please bear with me around that. But so, yeah, so I think there's this great energy of really with this Page of Wands, if we do want this new energy, this new adventure to start, this new thing to start for you, it is important to, sometimes we don't clear energetically some of the things we need to clear so that we can be able to move into the next phase of our life. And I'm going to get into the details of it, but I just want to point this out to you. This double mirroring, this is a really powerful reading here. So we have the 4 of Wands, and then we have 4 of Wands, and then we have 10 of Swords, 9 of Swords on either side. And then you have the 7 of Cups with 2 kings on either side. So just get into that mirroring. Very beautiful. But okay, so opening your reading, I think these 3 cards want to go together for me, is how they're speaking to me right now. And I think what it's saying is you, with this new energy, this new adventure, okay, I'm done with this, I'm ready to turn my new leaf, I'm ready to get to the next thing. With that energy, you worked for it. Okay, this is really about a lot of trials and adversity and pain and just being like completely beaten down and destroyed to get to like this happy ending. So we can look at these cards separately. So 10 of Swords, pretty self-explanatory, right? This is like, I am at my wit's end. I cannot take it anymore. This thing almost killed me. So it could be, a toxic relationship, could be a workplace, could be a personal habit, an addiction. I don't know, something that was just like, this is going to make me crazy if I stay in this any longer. And again, having nightmares, staying up late, being stressed out about it, right? 9 and 10 of Swords are both about like reaching our limits. They're about like, I cannot do this anymore. This is not serving me. There's nothing here. Like it's when we put in too much hope that things are going to be better, then they're not, right? So we have that. But then on either side of that is, so even if you don't feel like you have, this is like the happy ending card. This is the gateway card. This is the elevation to the next thing, right? So you can see what's close is the gateway, and then what's in the back is kind of like the happy ending or the thing that you want or the things that you're looking forward to. So this is saying that these 2 struggle bus situations were not in vain. We do not go through anything besides to help let it prepare us for what we want. And so this is saying that you can hold this vision. The most important thing is you holding this vision and knowing I am deserving. I just got a bolt of energy, like hearing this message to you. So it's really important. Okay. Holding this vision and this energy for you is so much more powerful than any external circumstances, right? With the no weapon forged against me shall prosper. That's this energy, okay? So even if you are at your wit's end, if you feel insane, if you feel like I can't do this anymore, as long as you can, sometimes we can be like, oh my God, why is this happening? It's not right. It doesn't feel good. But the fact that you know that it's not right, the fact that you know it's not something that serves you is amazing. Okay, so maybe you don't know how or why or what's going to happen for you, but you do need to know that there is a way out. You are going to get there if you haven't yet, but this is really just saying, you know, how can you leave these things behind and focus on what is for you, right? So maybe you're at a job and you're like, wow, I really doubt my skill set here. And you're like, I don't want to feel like that anymore. Or you're in a relationship and you're like, wow, I do not feel loved and cared for and heard here, you know? So, and again, we always have our side of the street to work on. So it's make sure this is kind of cards of like, you've done your part and it's just not working. So I don't feel any energy here around like, you know, kind of you're avoiding responsibility for yourself. So check in with yourself just to be sure that you're not, but if you're not, this is really beautiful energy around like knowing that something is not for you and it's time to pull the plug and get a new adventure. And I think, you know, very clearly that's where this courage energy is coming from. This courage energy of being like, in my heart of hearts, do I really believe that my job, relationship, whatever is supposed to feel like this? If the answer is no, then there's your answer. And if you're like, maybe not, there's your answer. Okay, so but just think about the ways that, you know, when you were so excited, or you know, we have this one beautiful life, and we have to do some things we don't like and that are hard and challenging, of course, but there gets a point where it's like it's not worth, you know, it's not the investment, it's not a mutual growing process, it's just actually, you know, this energy is not good feeling. You know, this, everyone has felt this. We know what it feels like to be totally beaten down, totally afraid, totally all of that, and then juxtapose it with this full abundant energy. And again, even if things are hard, and you know the difference between even if something being hard and challenging, but you're still growing, versus like this is me like running into a brick wall and nothing is happening, right? So just focusing on that, because again, once you get clear about that, again, once we have some courage, we have this beautiful Page of Wands energy that this full moon is saying like you are ready for a new adventure. So I think what you can journal on, what might be beneficial for you during this time, is to really think about what are some ways that, what are some stories that I got about myself that I think a job place or my work or my relationship or my family, you know, romantic or platonic, like what are some messages that I've received that make me feel like this, that I want to release and let go of? Because again, full moon is about cycles of releasing. It's about things coming to an end. So you can say, how does that not match up with my fantasy? How does it not match up with the vision I have for myself, with the life I want to have, with the ways I want to be of service, with how I want to give back to the world, right? Like how my gifts and talents that I have to share with this world, how can I tap into those and where do they not match? And so I think with this full moon, some energy I'm hearing is just being very clear about the ways that you can release some of that, and that you can move into like, okay, I'm ready for a new adventure. I'm ready to, you know, start this new part of my life. And again, this is really beautiful because it's a wands here. We have the Page of Wands, and that's part of your vision, right? So maybe you don't have all 4 wands right away. You know, you can't touch them, but you can start with one. You can start with one vision. You can start with one thing. You can start with one way that you want to move forward and change and expand your life in a really beautiful way. Because again, when we have the end of your reading, I think this is just, I mean, it's just so very clearly split into 2. Sometimes the cards are like 2, 2, and 2, or like this one by itself, or whatever. But this group 2, you really have 3, the theme of your reading, and then 3. Okay, it's very, very clear. So the second half of your reading, we have this 2 kings, and then the 7 with the options. So just again, going along with the same pattern of what we saw with the first half of your cards, this is really saying which, okay, this is saying which abundance do you want, basically, right? So this is your vision, and maybe, you know, you had only thought about like, sometimes we focus on one area of our life, right? We're really career focused, or we're really relationship focused, or we're really like our health focused. And then once we focus on that and clean that one up, then we can kind of grow in some other areas, right? Sometimes we can't focus on all of them at once. So I think this is really saying you can have all of it, but you need to choose, right? So it's not just, you don't just have, and then again, my readings are always, regardless of what gender you identify with, it's just king energy. It doesn't mean male, it's just king energy. So you have 2 kings here. So you have the top of the game in 2 areas of your life. And then 7 of Cups is about choices. It's about options. It's about knowing that you can have your choice of many, many things. Sometimes we think, okay, well, I can only have this, or it has to be this way, or how I thought I envisioned it before is what it has to be now. What this is saying that you can have many, many things together. You can have all of them you want. You don't have to compromise or doubt yourself or feel fearful that it only can be one way or no way, right? This is saying there are a lot of options for you, and you can have abundance in more than one area of your life, right? Sometimes when we think about abundance, we think about just like having a lot of money or having, material things, but abundance is always a bandwidth. It's an energy before it's like a physical reality state. And so this is saying when you work through and get clear about boundaries of things you want in one area of your life, that's going to bleed over into other areas of your life too. So this is really saying, look, we got King of Cups and King of Wands. So this is really saying, you know, when you build abundance in one area of your life, you can do it in other areas of your life too. You can have a fulfilling life in every area of your life, and thinking you can't is lack mindset. And again, this doesn't mean like there isn't going to be hardship, there isn't going to be things to work through. As we grow and evolve, we have to kind of fine tune our energy and get clear about the ways that we want certain things in our life or not. But this is, cups and wands are not the same energy, so you can have abundance in multiple different ways. And again, I just love the progression. We have the Page of Wands to the King of Wands. So as you're moving into releasing some of this lack and fear and limiting beliefs about that, whatever that's coming up, like the one piece of your abundance is going to grow and change and evolve to get there. And then the last thing I want to say about this too is just remembering to be open to creative possibilities. So sometimes we think like, okay, I need to have this job in this way, in this form, and then that means I'll have abundance, or it has to be this exact way, or it has to be, whatever. Like we're really committed in our limited thinking, like it has to be this or this way. That's not the truth at all. So I think this is saying just stay open. So you can set your intention of, I want, I don't want this shit anymore. Okay. I don't want it anymore. But I also am open to something that I can't even imagine right now, right? So just think about, I'm sure there's things that are in your life right now that you never knew existed a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, so just staying open to like have your vision, hold what you want, tap into the feeling of it, but knowing that there are more options there for you than your ego mind can recognize right now. So I think for journaling for this group, or just energy you want to tap into for this full moon, you can just think about ways that maybe you might be limiting yourself that you want to let go of. If there was some hard lessons that you had to learn, you can just choose to not learn them like that anymore. You can say, okay, if this energy shows up that I've seen 8 million times, I know I am capable of, and I don't have to tap into it anymore. I can just choose to not play that game anymore. And I love, again, that you had the courage card, because that really, of course, it takes courage to break habit. It takes courage to do something different. It takes courage to not play the game anymore if you don't want to play. So just really holding that energy for yourself. Okay, let me look at your oracle cards. Oh my God, this is so beautiful. Okay, we'll start with this one because it's just what we're talking about. So we have transformation. Okay, so things are changing at a cellular level, deep healing. So again, what I was talking about with this, and it's the same energy of this, even though I didn't explicitly say it, everything is energy, which means everything starts in the mind, or as a reprogramming, or as new thoughts, or hypnosis, or the way we speak to ourselves. Everything is energy. And so that's why a lot of times our life has to fall apart, or we have to go through a deep transformation internally before we can see something different externally. So if you feel like you were at your wit's end with this, you went through this really hard time, these things just like it exploded and you felt like there was no way out and you were so detached from this, just remember, transformation again starts internally. And I know that can be annoying to hear, and I've been there, trust me. I'm like, I don't care, I don't want to go through this process anymore. But things are changing at a cellular level, deep healing. This is really just saying, again, things start from inside. And I think it's really beautiful. There's maybe it's a sun, but it looks like a moon to me behind this person on the card. So, just knowing that transformation is happening, things do happen in the energetic realm, and we do need to kind of rewrite and reprogram a lot of that before we see things happen in physical reality. So even if you feel like nothing's happening, just have some faith that it is. Okay, well these, Okay. Then we have, these two kind of go together, so I want to share them. So we have self-love. Beautiful. And then we have lion, honor. Honor your soul and celebrate its journey. So this is kind of what I was talking about in the beginning, where sometimes, you know, we don't just get to have a life. We don't just get to pick and choose the hardships we want to go through. If that was the case, we wouldn't have to be on Earth, right? Part of being on Earth is having these experiences that we don't particularly like, that we wouldn't choose for ourselves, the things we have to go through to get to some of the lessons we need to learn. So life on Earth is not meant to be a walk in the park. It is challenging. It's really hard to be here. There are a lot of challenging things to go through. No matter how much you think you've mastered, there's always a next layer and level to get through. So I think this is saying honor your soul and celebrate its journey. So it is hard to be on Earth. It is hard to be a soul on Earth. It is hard to go through some of these things and pick yourself up and try to start again. So I think this is really, if just commend yourself for that, if you haven't done it. And it could just be, oh, well, my life's not that bad, and blah, blah. Okay, that's fine. But again, for your unique understanding of your time on Earth, you need to honor your specific soul's journey and the growth that it came to do, that you could only get in that way. And again, going along with that, some self-love. So maybe nurturing yourself, accepting yourself. Peacock and lion are both signs of like royalty and like regality. And so maybe you're a fire sign, you're a Leo, or some energy here around like just taking care of yourself, just really honoring yourself, really honoring your journey. I am not into spiritual bypassing. I am not into pretending like hard things don't take the time they need to take to work through, but you can still choose, no matter what you're going through, you can still choose to be very kind and compassionate and understanding of yourself, right? It doesn't mean you fix everything right away. It doesn't mean we don't have to take responsibility for ourselves, but you don't need to beat yourself up just because you're going through a hard time. Going through a hard time doesn't mean you need to use that as ammunition against yourself. And then we have, I don't have to fear my fear. I can use it as a way to get closer to love. So I think this is just what I was talking about too, of like fear is normal, fear is natural. Being on Earth is hard. There are challenging times that come up. Things are challenging for us here. So I don't have to fear my fear. I can use it as a way to get closer to love. A lot of times fear just wants us to listen to it. That's a big thing, right? It's like our inner child feeling afraid, trying to protect us, trying to move forward. So when you can recognize that in transformation, a lot of fear can come up because we're moving into something different than where we were before. And so when you can recognize that, you can understand, like, I don't have to buy into my fear. I can just remember, okay, here's my fear. Thank you for communicating with me, but I am going to choose something different now. And then we have this card celebrating simplicity. And then the back says, I am more fulfilled when there is less to manage and maintain. So I love that. So I think this is, again, what I was talking about in the beginning. You know when something is just a challenging time, but it's for you, right? So that's not this energy, right? You know when something is challenging, but it's just like, it's part of it, but you're ready to work through it, versus you know when something is like this and it's just like a total train wreck and you are doing your part and you are willing to be responsible, but the other side is not willing at all. That's two different energies. And so celebrating simplicity, I'm more fulfilled when there is less to manage and maintain. So that's not saying that Earth is going to be any less challenging for you. It's not saying that you're not going to have to go through what you have to go through. But what it is saying is that pick the things that you can feel are growing with you, that are challenging you in a positive way, instead of just like pushing against you and you feel totally like help, this. You feel like this or like this. It's not what we want, right? You can feel when you've reached a dead end in something. And so I think this card is just reflecting that. And then last one, the guardian angel of youth. As I share my enthusiasm, humor, and sense of fun, I protect and honor my youthful spirit. So I think this is just saying, again, with that self-love card, just remember that you can choose lightheartedness in these situations. So as I share my enthusiasm, humor, and sense of fun, I protect and honor my youthful spirit. When we do have our inner child is with us for our whole life, so that we can always remember what it feels like to have fun, to be creative, to laugh, to play. Like, that's such beautiful energy to tap into. But if we're wounded, if we're fearful, if we don't feel like we have control over our lives, that gets less and less accessible for us. And so this is saying, like, again, I'm not saying to make light of a situation, but you can bring a sense of lightheartedness to everything you're going through if you want to. And don't remember that you can choose to have fun. You can have a sense of humor about this. It's your life. It's fun to make fun of yourself sometimes when you're going through it. Like I've been there, it helps alleviate some of that. So just remember that you do have a guardian angel of youth who does want you to feel loved and protected and cared for as you go through some of this transformative energy in your life. Okay, that's everything I have for you. I hope this serves you. For journaling, again, just think about some of the things you want to let go of. Whatever came up for you in this reading, trust that. Trust the process. Trust that you are being guided, even if it doesn't seem like it. And if you ever want any more information about me, all of that is linked below. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Hi everyone, welcome. This is for everyone who picked group number 3. So as a reminder, this is a timeless reading. So even if you are here not when it's a full moon, there is probably a message in here for you. And a reminder, full moons are about releasing, they are about letting go, they are about cycles ending. So whatever comes up for you in this reading, I'll suggest some things that I might think will be helpful for you to journal on based on what I see in the cards, but just a reminder that this is up to you, what you feel is resonating for you in terms of what you want to release. I do want to say there is some construction going on around me, so I apologize if there is a little bit of background noise for this reading. But again, thank you so much for being here. This is for everyone who picked group number 3. So you have the Enjoy card, the strawberry, how nice. So subconsciously or consciously, you, I think, should add some lighthearted energy to your life here. So I think with this full moon, you can kind of think about releasing maybe some heaviness, maybe some, and again, not just like, I know it's easier said than done sometimes, but how can I enjoy my life a little bit more? How can I find a moment where I can just breathe, inhale, step outside, breathe in the air, just be so thankful and grateful to be here, right? How can I have that? Maybe eat a strawberry, that will make you feel better. Okay. Okay, so like usual, I'm going to start with your tarot and then I will clarify with your oracle cards. So to open, we have the moon. Then we have 8 of Pentacles. We have Ace of Swords. Then we have 4 of Cups. Then we have Ace of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles, and 2 of Wands. Okay, so theme for this reading in the middle, we do have the 4 of Cups. So I think this is, look, this is just, we only have 2 cards we're talking about right now. It's the same message right away. Okay, so this is saying about like, just enjoy your life. This is, the 4 of Cups is about someone who there is an opportunity right in front of you, or there is something being handed to you literally that can serve you or lighten the mood or make something, but you're not accepting it or bringing some awareness. So I think with this full moon, you want to look at releasing maybe some resistance you have to something. So maybe it's not what you thought it was going to be, or it's a choice you thought you didn't have to make, or it's something that, I know there's some block to accepting something good for you. So just maybe getting clear about why that is or what that is, or how you can kind of move through that and show up for yourself in a little bit more a loving way for yourself. Okay. So start of your reading, we have the moon, 8 of Pentacles, Ace of Swords. So this is telling me you're putting in the work in your life on all levels. Okay. So this is an intuitive card. This is like something subconscious. This is something going on behind the scenes. This is, again, just kind of like that relationship to yourself, something subconscious is lurking or brewing for you. So to me, seeing this right off the bat, the moon, this is really positive energy. This is really energy around like the ways that you are just really having your intuition be part of your life. I think, this combined with the 8 of Pentacles and the Ace of Swords, I think this is really saying to me, again, you are in charge of these 3 things in your life, and you're really being intentional about cultivating them. So this is cultivating a lot of your intuition. So maybe you're meditating, maybe you're journaling, maybe you have a spiritual practice, or you're praying, or I don't know what, but you're doing something that is spending time in nature. You're doing something that is cultivating that intuitive energy for you, which again is amazing. We all have our intuition, but it's just how much we choose to engage with it. So if you're doing that, love that for you, really good. And then the Eight of Pentacles, this is about doing like work in physical reality. So sometimes, we have to, not sometimes, we have to get in a balance of balancing our intuition and like our thought process, our affirmations, our visualization, right? We have to balance our spiritual body and our form body. And so these two cards together are saying to me, this is like working your intuition, this is building that connection for yourself. And then this card is about putting in the work, like physical reality. Pentacles are about abundance, they're about physical reality, and they're also about again, just making some of that come to fruition in physical reality. And so this is saying you put in the work for yourself, you put in the dedication to yourself, you've shown up for yourself in the ways that is really important for you to be able to do that. And so just again, that this is probably, if you're chose this group, seems like a little bit more further down the road in your spiritual journey. So you kind of figured out those basic hiccups of like, okay, I can't just focus all my time on affirmations. I also need to balance some physical reality stuff with that, or I can't just like only be on physical reality. I need to do some spiritual stuff too. So that balance. And then I love to see this too, ending with the Ace of Swords for these first three cards. This is just very clear boundaries. So I feel like you, amidst doing this work for yourself of your intuition and your physical reality, you are also getting very clear about the ways that the boundaries you need in your life between those two things, and then also with other people. So this is setting energetic boundaries around your energetic boundaries, and then also physical world reality boundaries. And so that could just be, okay, I know I'm not going to engage with people if they want to just play a game with me instead of just like getting to know me and communicate with me, or I know what my limits are. I know this, and this thing like isn't for me actually, right? So this is just a card about boundaries. And so again, when I said in the meeting, when I see all three of these together, it's just really beautiful, showing that you are doing your intuitive spiritual soul work, you're doing your physical reality work, and then you're also doing your boundary work. So if you have been in a cycle of putting in the work to want to reconnect with yourself, to get yourself to the next level, to just feel more clear about who you are, all of that is showing up here. But, and I mean, not but we have in the middle of your card, you still don't feel happy, you still feel upset. And so look, and we can even see these three cups here can even reflect that moon, Eight of Pentacles and Ace of Swords going on for you. And so I feel like, you're like, hey, I'm doing this, and this thing. Why don't I feel joyous? Why don't I feel like I can enjoy my life? Right? Like, so sometimes when we think we have to, I have to work on myself, I have to do self-help, I have to, it has to be really serious and really, so this is really saying, just lighten up. I think that's the main message for this group here with this full moon. Just really interrogate yourself and get very clear about the ways, like, how did I learn the message that connecting with my intuition has to be painful, has to be hard, has to be, I'm gonna not feel good about myself, right? So we want to look at that. Or setting boundaries has to be painful, or working on my physical body has to be painful, right? So this to me really feels like energy of like, well, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing, so why don't I feel good? And I think that's just it's a beautiful part of Earth school life, is like we can be doing everything correctly, but if your energy isn't tapped into a place that feels abundant and full and light, then it's not going to feel good with all of that. So I think the theme of your reading is just looking at, I think you can let go of with this full moon. Okay, how can I release some of these limiting beliefs or some of this stuff around like, taking care of myself is painful because X, or I can't like enjoy myself and do this because of whatever, right? So this is looking at what are the ways that, you can really just have more lightheartedness in your life, because what comes from that, I think, I got excited. Let me focus. I got excited. Okay. So look at this. We have one hand trying this, not working. But then right after that, we have another hand giving you the Ace of Pentacles. And look at this too. There's a lot of mirroring energy in all the spreads today, but we see with this one too. So we have Ace of Swords on one side and Ace of Pentacles on the other. So I think, you set the boundaries and you did all of that, but what you want to move into, okay, this is really beautiful progression. So we have the Ace of Pentacles, then we have the 10 of Pentacles, and then we have the 2 of Wands. So what I think you want to start to tap into, Ace of Pentacles is about like receiving a gift or an idea of abundance. And I all the time people think abundance is like physical reality and like having a lot of money and which like that's part of it, but abundance is an energy you tap into before it's something outside of you. So there's poverty consciousness, that's the opposite of abundance. Lack mentality, opposite of abundance, right? That there's not enough, I missed my opportunity, this is going to run out, I can't have what I want, or I have to sacrifice something, or and there is some layer of that, because again, we are not God, but you don't have to do it to the point that you are like unhappy all day, every day. That's not the point of it, right? Sometimes the reroute is towards the abundance, the thing that serves you, but it's not to the point that you are supposed to be miserable on earth every single day. So I think instead of, this like, okay, I did everything right, why isn't it happening? This is really saying it's time for you to tap into more abundance. It's time for you to tap into this idea of, just what are your limiting beliefs, right? Like, so I have to work on myself because I wasn't good enough to begin with. Maybe that's a limiting belief you have. Or, I'm flawed on the soul level. Something is fundamentally wrong with me. So that's why I don't have what I want, or that's why I have to work so hard to have this relationship with myself. So I mean, this is really saying, how can you flip some of the stories you've been telling about yourself, like from putting all this work in, from doing all this great stuff for yourself? How can you flip those stories into more abundant energy? Because look, once you do that, once you hold that, what comes right after it is physical abundance. 10 of Pentacles is about abundance on all planes. Obviously in this card, you see the person as a family, as someone who's a little bit older, they have dogs, they have their house, they have like the coins everywhere. So, there is this abundance in all layers of life. And so it's like, once you tap into that, instead of just being, upset, like, I just feel like the first half of this reading feels very much like I had to do this, and this, and that's not fair because that person over there never had to do any of it. And like, first of all, you don't know what people have to do or not do, right? But second of all, if you've put in the work on yourself, you should be grateful that you have the awareness, not should be, but it's important to be grateful that you have the awareness and kindness and emotional intelligence to know that you are trying to change, you can change, all of that. And so just this idea of tapping into abundance as more of like a mindset change and like an energy you tap into, and like, we're not going to spiritually bypass the human experience, right? So you're not going to be able to be like, oh, this thing I wanted didn't happen and I feel totally fine, right? We want to honor like the disappointment or like the hard process it can be of like, yeah, it's really hard to like, work out every single day when I don't want to, or, whatever's going on. But we don't want to bypass any of that, but you can have that human experience while also knowing deep in your heart that like the truth is, I have to do these things because I am ready to expand my life and move to the next layer, right? If you were being stagnant and not growing at all, like you think, okay, well then I have everything I want. But the truth is, if your soul is here to expand and grow, you're going to have to do some things that you don't like doing. And we're going to have to do some things that aren't the most comfortable. But when you can tap into this energy of abundance, that's like, what is for me can't miss me. Anytime I have to grow, it is for my highest good, or I won't have to push and pull and try so hard for something that's for me. Once you can rewrite some of those beliefs, like that's going to bring you this physical abundance. And then what I see here is you're going to have options, right? So 2 of Wands is about choice. The person obviously has the world in their hands. So this is about energy of you get to have the choice of the things you want to have in your life. And so I think what this is saying is once you tap into that abundance frequency, then you are going to see that abundance in your life, right? And it could just be, sometimes it's even something as simple as like, well, I want this particular relationship. And then you go to the store and you see like, like 2 old people holding hands, and you're like, oh, look, there's me and my relationship in the future, right? It's not to be like, oh, look at these happy couples and I don't have someone, or, whatever, or like see someone getting promoted at their job. Anytime you see something, that's reflecting back to you that it's possible for you. And lack mentality is saying, oh, well, they have it, so I can't have it. But abundance mentality is, okay, that it's possible for them and I can see it and recognize it. So that means it's going to be coming for me too. So we do want to have faith that this physical abundance is for you. And then from that comes choices and options. You know, sometimes another manifestation of lack mentality is saying yes to something because we're afraid we don't have another choice, or we think it's the only thing that's going to be for us. So once you allow abundance to flow into your life, then you are going to be able to have multiple options. The whole world is in your hand. You have a lot of choices, and you are going to be able to choose something that does serve you, and you can decide the best way that you can give your gifts to the world, and you can be accountable for yourself, and you can keep growing in that way. Okay, and I have your oracle cards, but also I just love this one for you. So just remember to enjoy your life also along the way. Okay, do all this stuff with a little bit of lightheartedness, with a little bit of joy. Okay, wow. Okay, we'll start with this one. This is what we're talking about. So the initiation. So rite of passage, crossing the threshold. So this is just what we were talking about here with this energy of like, you know, doing this work, right? New level, new devil. If you ever heard the saying, like what you're going through is preparing you for what you've asked for. So sometimes initiation doesn't feel good, having to grow doesn't feel good, but rite of passage, crossing the threshold, we cannot, you know, it's like there's always the rainbow after the storm. We cannot expect to grow or get to the next level of our life until we go through some challenging things, and until we you know, just again are responsible for the ways that we understand that, like, okay, this doesn't feel the best right now, but it's part of the process. So trusting the whole part of the process is going to be important. And just going on with that, we have to begin the practice of allowing, I must get out of the way and let spirit give me direction. So again, just going along with this initiation card, trusting that you need to be able to understand, like, we have surrender also. So these two together, you need to be able to understand that it is the path that is for you, and you're doing a lot. You can be, again, doing all the right things, but you need to be able to understand and connect to the fact that, you know, I'm going to do it this way and that's going to be the way, but you have to be open to the ways of spirit supporting you, of God guiding you, of, you know, the ways that we do have this very nice abundant support for us, but sometimes we can't tap into it because we're too focused on, you know, my way or the highway, or I'm quote unquote doing everything right. And sometimes surrendering to enjoyment is part of it. Surrendering to the process is part of it. Surrendering to, you know, like, this is the way it has to be right now, and this is what I have to do to get there, and I'm gonna allow that. And just going on with that, creating cooperation. And on the back, more gets accomplished when everyone has a role to play. So I think that's, again, understanding that your unique energy here, like, you know, I think maybe this won't resonate with everyone, but maybe for some of you, right, maybe you're following, right, you're following something that maybe isn't resonating with you, but it's what you think you have to be doing, right? So maybe, for example, on your spiritual journey, you're like, I need to meditate every morning at 6 a.m. and that's it. But maybe it's better for you to meditate at night. Or maybe, you know, when you're setting this boundary, you're like, I need to have this boundary because that's what someone told me what I had to do. So I think this card can say more gets accomplished when everyone has a role to play. So I think this is just about remembering we all have a unique role. We all have our own gifts. We all have, you know, the ways that we show up in the world that's the best for everyone involved, and knowing that the way you show up for your things can be different for other people, from other people, but you do still need to recognize, like, do it your way. Take guidance from other people, listen to other people, but do it your way. And when you don't, like, that's what can feel a little off. And I think, okay, spider, we have the spider card. So Dreamweaver, tune into the energetic grids around you. Where can you send your energy for healing? So I think this is, again, what I was just talking about, of like tapping into the energy that feels good for you, tapping into the things that match you, not the things you think you should be doing. And then this also really connects to this card, which is, you know, you have choices, you have options, you have more places you can physically go, spiritually go. You can see in your mind's eye different choices than just what's in front of you. So just remembering, you know, staying open to maybe these different energy grids or energetic places or things that maybe might resonate for you. And then we'll end with this nice one because I think it really goes a lot. I'm obsessed with this enjoy card for you guys. So I love that. But we'll end with this one, the Angel of Mercy. Divine mercy gives me the grace to be tender and accepting. So a lot of times when we talk about mercy, so there's compassion and mercy. And so compassion is just like, this nice energy of like, I think, I'm going to offer compassion and kindness. And then mercy is when our ego tells us we can't do that or we shouldn't do that, but we choose to do that anyway. And so I think with this spread, with the enjoy card, with all of that, you can shed some mercy and compassion for yourself. So divine mercy gives me the grace to be tender and accepting with yourself, I think is for group 3, what's been going on. Also, it could just be toward your life circumstances. It could just be if there was something that was like a catalyst for a lot of this work you've had to do, just kind of like forgiving that and releasing it. So I think with this full moon for this group, again, the message I'm getting is just a lot of energy around, what are the limiting beliefs of why does my life have to be painful, or why do I have to hold on to this narrative that I need to punish myself, or things have to be super hard, or whatever's coming up for you. But there's just a lot of that energy in this reading. Okay, so that's everything I have for you. I hope this serves you. If you ever want any more information about me, you can click the link below for all of that. And thank you so much for choosing to be here with me today. Have a wonderful full moon, and I hope you have a wonderful day.